Hello everyone, Miss Meek here, and today we are going to talk about additive relationships. So this is a type of algebraic relationship that I'll give you one guess what it's all about. It is all about adding, okay? So adding, subtraction also falls under additive relationships because we can add negatives, and that's the same as subtracting positives. So additive relationships all about am I adding something to my input to get my output? And so we're going to take a look at a couple of examples. Our whole job today is going to be to write an equation and determine am I adding or am I not, pretty much. So let's go ahead and take a look at this first equation. So my inputs are 1, 2, 3, 4. My outputs are 4, 5, 6, 7. So let's figure out what is going on. So what am I doing to this input to get this output? Now, I could be multiplying by 4, or I could be adding 3. So remember, we always want to check at least 2 points in our table to make sure that we know what the actual rule is. So when I multiply by 4, 1 times 4 is 4. It's 2 times 4, 5. No, it's not. It's 8. So it's actually, I think, going to be plus 3. So let's try that. 2 plus 3 is 2 plus 3, 5. Yes. So I'm adding 3. So let's go ahead and write the rule, the equation for this table. So what am I doing to my x's? Well, I'm adding 3 to them. So I have my x, and I'm adding 3 to it. And when I do that, it equals this bottom row of numbers, which are my y's. So y equals x plus 3. So am I adding to my inputs to get my outputs? Yes, I am. So when it asks me, is this additive? I can say, yes, it's additive. And how do I know? Because I'm adding 3 to the input. It's additive, and I'll say because you add 3 to the input. So again, your explanation doesn't have to be super complicated. It just can be, hey, I'm adding to get my output. I'm adding 3 to my input. Let's take a look at number 2 here. Okay, so on number 2, I could be multiplying by 3, or I could be adding 2. So 1 plus 2 is 3. Is 2 plus 2 6? No, it's 4. So let's see. I think I'm multiplying here. So times 3 is 2 times 3, 6. Yeah, it is. So let's go ahead and write that equation. So what am I doing to my x's? I'm multiplying them times 3. So 3 times x. Remember, we can write it like that. Those two, that number and that letter are stuck together with multiplication glue. We don't have to put the little multiplication dot in between. Okay? And what happens when I multiply the x times 3? Well, it equals my y's. It equals that bottom row of numbers there, okay? So am I adding something to my input in order to get my output? No, I am not. So I would say no, it's not additive. And my reason is because you multiply to get the output. Or you could say you multiply times 3, multiply the input times 3 or something. Like, your explanation just needs to be, no, it's not. The reason why is because I'm not adding. Okay, I'm multiplying instead. All right, now the other thing they may try to do is give us a graph, and we have to be able to determine the equation from the graph and determine am I adding or am I not. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. Now remember, when they give us a graph, our best first step is to make a table. So over here to the side, I'm going to make a little table. It doesn't have to be super complicated. This will be x, this will be y. My x here is 1. When x is 1, y is a 2. When x is 2, y is a 4. When x is 3, y is a 6. And when x is 4, y is an 8. So again, I just made a table. I took the points off my graph and put them in a table. Now I can really try to see what's happening in this table here. All right, so let's see. I could be doing 1 plus 1 to get 2, but 2 plus 1 is not 4. That would be 3. So I think what's happening is I think that my x's are being multiplied times 2 here. So let's plug these numbers in and see. So 1 times 2, yeah, that works. 2 times 2, that works. 3 times 2. Yeah, so I'm thinking here I'm multiplying times 2. So my equation would be what's happening to my x? Well, I'm multiplying it times 2. And when I do that, it equals the numbers in the y column, my outputs there. So this is my equation for this graph. So is it additive? Am I adding to get my outputs? No, I'm not. So it's no, it's not additive. And again, it says explain my thinking. Well, you're not adding. So I would say you multiply the inputs to get the output. So I'm not adding. I have to be adding for it to be additive, okay? Let's do this last one here, number 2. It says same thing. I'm going to make a table. And this is x, this is y. When x is 1, y is 2. When x is 2, y is 3, because it's in between 2 and 4. When x is 3, y is 4. When x is 4, y is 5. So I could be multiplying by 2 again. But 2 times 2 is 4, not 3. So I think I actually may be taking my x's here, and I think I'm adding 1 to it. So let's double check that. Let's plug that in. 1 plus 1 is 2, okay. 2 plus 1 is 3, okay. 3 plus 1 is 4, and 4 plus 1 is 5. So I think I am adding here. So let's write our equation. What's happening to your x is I'm having to add 1 to it. And when I do that, it equals my y's. And so take a look at your equation. Are you adding something to your input to get your output? Yes, I am. So this is going to be additive. Yes, it's additive. How do I know? Because I'm adding 1 to my input. So I'm adding 1 to the input to get the output. Awesome. All right, so that is additive relationships. It is as simple as that. Check if you're adding or not. If you're adding, you have an additive relationship. If you're not adding, like you're multiplying or you're dividing, then you do not have an additive relationship. I really hope that clarifies identifying additive relationships. I'll talk to you later. Bye.